As one of the world's biggest tech companies, there is always a lot of interest and curiosity around Apple. It is a company that has a rich, fascinating, and at times complex history as well. Apple's products are sold worldwide and are perhaps one of the most easily recognized products in the world. People know a lot about Apple, the history, the start, yet there are certain things, or rather some facts, which people might not be aware of. Here we tell you 10 such interesting and fascinating facts about Apple that perhaps you didn't know. Since Apple is one of the biggest tech companies in the world, Apple actually has too much cash. In 2022, the cash in hand for Apple was close to $202 billion, which made it the most cash-rich tech company in the world. Speaking of cash and revenue, Apple was the first tech company to cross not just the $1 trillion or $2 trillion, but the $3 trillion mark in market cap. Apple is more valuable than almost every economy in the world when compared to GDP. In 2022, only 4 countries had economies that were actually bigger than Apple. These economies were the US, China, Germany, and Japan. While the iPhone may be the most popular product, other products like the Apple Watch and AirPods also sell like hotcakes across the world. In fact, did you know that Apple is the biggest watch manufacturer in the world? In 2019, Apple actually outsold the entire Swiss watch industry, which includes the likes of Tissot, Tag Heuer, and other popular and valuable watch brands. Apple's services business, which includes the likes of App Store, Apple TV Plus, and other services, generates close to $80 billion in revenue. What this number does is that it makes it larger than Fortune 500 companies such as Nike, Boeing, Coca-Cola, and even McDonald's. The AirPods are also quite a bit of cash-rich source for Apple. At one point in 2019, the revenue from just the AirPods for Apple was actually more than the combined annual revenue of Twitter, Spotify, and Snapchat. There is another interesting fact about one of the most iconic Apple stores in the world. The Fifth Avenue store in New York, also known as the Cube, actually gets more visitors than the Statue of Liberty in a year. Apple is known to make expensive products, but did you know which is the most expensive Apple product ever? It is actually the 2020 Mac Pro, which was actually whose retail price was rupees 5.49 lakh, but you could actually configure it to reach added RAM, added storage, added GPU. The total cost of the maxed out version of Apple Mac Pro can cost up to a whopping rupees 53 lakh. While Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak are the better known co-founders of Apple, there is a so-called forgotten third co-founder of Apple who went by the name of Ronald Wayne. Wayne's involvement with Apple actually was very short-lived, and within 12 days he ended up selling his shares of the company in 1977 for a mere $800. While $800 back then would still be a significant amount, if Wayne had held on to his shares, his worth would have been in multi-billion dollars by now.